Chris, you guys have now won 4 games in a row. How much fun has this streak been?
Man, it's been a good time. It's been a great time. We are getting closer as a team. We just winning. That's our main thing as a defense that Coach Lopo wanted us to really buy in on is just winning, working hard every single day, putting that work in. Extra watching the film and the weights extra hard. The whole process is just fun because at the end of the day on Saturday we go out there and we just try to dominate our opponent and win the game. So it's been a good time.
You have Fort Hays State coming up Saturday. You've had a chance to watch them on film. What kind of stands out about Fort Hays State's offense?
They offense, they're very sneaky. One thing Coach Higgins says, don't scoreboard watch. Like for me, it's my first time in this league, so I really don't know what to expect from any opponent. So I just go based off what I see on film, and I believe like they got some good guys. Like I said before, we just got to buy into the what is it? I'm sorry. Just buy into the script, buy into what we've been working on, and trust our technique, our keys, and the coach's game plan, and we'll be all right.
Chris, just kind of like Rick said, 4 wins in a row. Just defensively, you guys have been keeping the opponent scoring down. Just kind of what's been working on the defensive side of the football this past few weeks.
I'll probably say everyone doing their own job, their own 111, trusting that the linebacker's going to do his job, especially games like Carney where they were like the triple option. It's just everyone do your 111. So when everyone can buy in and trust their brother next to him and just run to the ball every down, every play, you're all right.
Yeah. And just to last week, you had to win. Was that a factor in the game at all?
I would say it was a little factor in the game. I think the main thing that kind of helped them out was kind of keeping the ball out of our offensive hands. So obviously that win, it kind of limited what they could do passing wise, and we saw the punt, the 6-yard punt. So definitely played in our favor at that point of the game. But yeah, the win was kind of a factor, but we didn't let that slow us down and slow the offense down. We just kept put your head down and work.
And like I said, put your head down and work. I feel like good teams, they find ways to win games even when they're not playing maybe the best. I feel like last week was one of those games. Do you feel like you just kind of find a way to win games this time of the year?
Just gotta find a way, man. Just Coach Higgins says earmuffs and blinders. Just put your head down and keep working. Yeah. The win's part of the game, climbing's part of the game, all that stuff. Like I said, just keep your head down, just keep working, just trust your brother and keep going.
Thank you.
Wait.
Hey Chris, how's it going?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. So being new to the MIAA, just how much do you rely on your teammates for information about all these teams you guys have to face?
I mean, a lot of the guys I just ask them who's the guy on the team, who should we expect? But again, just being in the film room, watching extra film, kind of like that, gives away everything. They always say the eye in the sky don't lie. So whatever you put on film, that's who you are as a player. So.
And Fort Hays has the opposite record of you guys, but how do you avoid overlooking teams that are towards the bottom of the conference?
It's like what Coach Higgins be saying, just can't scoreboard watch. Like I said earlier, I'm new to the league, so I really don't know anything about anyone for real. Let's just go watch the film, and anything can happen on any given Saturday afternoon. So we kind of don't really like to pay attention to that. Again, we just put our head down and keep working, no matter who we got in front of us.
All right, that's all I had to add. So thanks.
Thank you.
Katie, you got anything?
Yeah. Hey Chris, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Pretty good. So as we've said, you guys are on a 4-game win streak. How does that kind of come in as noise for you guys to kind of try to cancel that out, just kind of focus one game at a time?
Yeah, that's what the whole earmuffs and blinders. That's what Coach Higgins has been preaching to us the past about 2-3 weeks. Don't pay attention to the media. Don't pay attention to what's going on, whether they got us ranked or unranked. We just keep our head down and just keep working. That's the one thing you can do at this point of the season.
Yeah, and when your final 3 games, or 2 of them are going to be at home, how does that kind of add an extra sense of confidence for those 3 games coming up?
I wouldn't say really confidence, more just excitement. It's just exciting to get to play in front of the fans. More people are going to start coming out. This is one of the, as I read before a couple of weeks ago, this is one of the best starts we've had, the school's had in a while. And I feel like just that alone, just us, everyone gets to come out and see the work we get to put in every week. And, we just want to put on a show for, our friends and family in the community. So it's definitely some little, so I'll say a little confidence booster, so for sure.
Well, that's it for me. Thanks.
Hey, one question for you, just as a new guy here. We talk a lot about the culture and building the culture. How have you been able to be brought into the Emporia State football culture?
And they let me in with open arms, man. I just I thank everyone for doing that. From just the trainers, the players, even you guys, people on staff, who's all part of the football team. The culture here is huge. That's something that I really didn't get to experience at my last school a whole lot. We didn't really have a whole culture, really, but everything we do here, just from the Hornet walk, walking up walking down the field before the game, all that stuff. It plays a huge role into the success for the team. I feel like you get everyone to just buy in.
Awesome. Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Chris. Now, Tyler, you guys are on a 4-game win streak right now. I asked Chris the same thing. How much fun are you guys having?
Oh, it's awesome. Coming off that Pitt State loss, rough loss, but I think it's really important, and I think it's good how we bounce back. So 4-game win streak, good. We want to keep going, obviously. So
As you look at Fort Hays State, you looked at them on film defensively. What challenges are they going to offer you guys?
yeah, so the past couple of years we played them, we haven't really scored very much on them, and so we just got to go in and execute. Last year we didn't really execute very well, and last game I think they changed some people out, and I think it gave them a little bit more energy. So we're just gonna have to come out and be ready to play.
And one last question for you. Last year, the success that you had as that season went along last year, how much confidence did that give you going into this season, and how much has that allowed you to build your confidence this season?
Yeah, so last year, Coach Higgins always says that he didn't really know what to expect, and we had a pretty good year offensively last year, and that carries on into the spring, and then the spring we had a good spring carries into the season, and we struggled a little bit with our consistency at the beginning of the year, and we started to pick it up, and I think we're doing a good job right now.
And Tyler, I think too, coming off last week's game, it was a win, but it was not maybe the prettiest looking win. But just, I guess, good teams find ways to win games, right?
Yeah. So I was actually really proud of our team about last week. That was not an easy game to win. They're a very good team as well. They play hard, and there was a lot of conditions, it was windy, and a lot of adversity, and came back and won a game like that. Like I said, I was really proud of our team.
Kind of keep things rolling, into this week. Come back at home as well. Just kind of, how do you kind of, when sitting at 6-2, how do you kind of take things one game at a time, not look too far down the road, so to speak?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like I said, just going 1-0 every week and coming to practice, ready to practice. We constantly talk about having good practices, stacking good days, and I think we're really veteran group, I would say, and I think we do that. I think we come to practice every single day ready to go.
And too, you can't control the weather. Wind is going to be what it is. But how did that impact the game last week, and how did you kind of maybe adjust as the game kind of went along?
Yeah, so obviously, when you're playing with 30-mile-per-hour winds, it's gonna affect you a little bit on offense and on defense. But I think that we had to run the ball a little bit more last game, and maybe not. We couldn't execute what we were trying to do maybe all the time. But the second half, we came out and we just kind of were like, hey, if we're going against the wind, we're still gonna try to execute our game plan, and I think we did a really good job on playing with the wind. So, thank you. Yep.
Wayne.
Hey, Tyler, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So you had a touchdown that gave you guys a lead right before the half last week. Just how do you guys stay so focused or zoned in as the clock is winding down?
Yeah, so that just comes into preparation that we had them in a coverage that we saw on film and we talked about. We actually just got out of our meetings Thursday with Coach Higgins and stuff, and we had a play designed for the coverage, and we repped it in practice, and it just worked exactly how we thought it would.
And do you guys try to really hammer it down when the clock is winding down and you have a chance to score?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Do you guys really try to focus in, I guess, more than normal in the game when you guys have a chance to score and the clock is winding down?
So we knew it was going to be an important drive. I think we were down 14-3 at that point, and we hadn't really got anything going. And so, yeah, I think that score was really important for the game, just momentum in general going into halftime. And so, yeah, I would say when the clock's running down, and we've done a good job in 2-minute drill this year in the first half. So I think, yeah, it was a really important touchdown, a really important drive.
And you guys have had a couple road games. You're finally back at home. Is it almost just a little breath of fresh air, a weight off your chest, knowing that you get to play at home again?
Oh yeah, everybody loves playing at home. You know, defend the field, and I think that when you play 2 away games in a row, I mean, you're just ready to get back and play in front of your home fans in the stadium.
And this was a really close matchup last year. Are you kind of expecting it to be the same this year?
Oh yeah, it's one of those games. You know, Fort Hays and Emporia State. It's always going to be a close game. Any game in the MIAA, you're always thinking it's going to be a close game. And yeah, we're going to have to be ready to play.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Katie.
Hey Tyler, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. So, looking back at 6 of your guys' wins, 4 of those you guys have scored 40-plus points. How do you think the offense has really been clicking on all cylinders this season?
Yeah, so like I said at the beginning of the year, you know, we had a couple games where we weren't really doing, I guess, what we thought we would do. And, you know, after Pitt State, I think we kind of regrouped. And I think the last 4 games, we played really good football. And we're just going to continue to try to keep going.
Yeah, and looking ahead at your next final 3 games of the regular season, 2 of those are going to be at home. Does that give you guys kind of a confidence booster in finding more wins throughout the season?
Oh yeah, you know, playing at home's good, especially as a receiver here, because we got a lot of like alignments and like knowing where stuff on the field like helps us get lined up fast. So that's a plus. And yeah, just playing at home is always a lot easier than playing away. You don't have to deal with hotel, getting up, stuff like that. So.
That's it for me. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you.
Okay, Braden, Fort Hays State coming up. I know you're a film guy. What have you seen on film about Fort Hays that kind of stands out? What challenges might they offer you guys?
You know, I think they're going to bring a really high intensity. You know, I think they're going to play fast and play hard against us. You know, I think just come off a win this past week, I think they're going to have some momentum and feel good about themselves coming in.
So for you guys, what's got to be the focus? What's got to be the mentality?
You know, we just got to, you know, bring our own intensity, set the tone early. I think we come out fast and, you know, play our game and execute offensively and defensively. I think getting out to a fast start will help us a lot.
And the thing is, you've shown this year too. If you haven't got off to a slow start, you've been able to gain some momentum as the game gone along. What's the key there? If you don't get off to a fast start, what's the key to getting that momentum back on your side?
You know, I think it's just, you know, taking that first play out there, the first drive, you know, just of each drive, just taking it, you know, trying to get positive yards, trying to execute the play that's called. You know, I think when things aren't going good, we're all old enough and veteran enough to look at each other and be like, all right, well, it's this drive. Like, we're eventually going to get something going. So.
And to Braden last week, obviously, you know, you won the game. I feel like you said, veteran team. You know, had to come back late. Had to come back twice actually. So was there any down on the sideline, just kind of knowing that you were still in the game and found a way to win in the end?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like we were in the game the whole time. It was just, you know, once we got the ball in our hands again, we're just, you know, needed to go score, put points on the board. So, and defense did a good job of getting us the ball back, and you know, we just put points on the board.
Yeah, and then, you know, not to be up on the wind again, but just for you, passing the football. How did you do you have to adjust your game plan throwing the football in those conditions last week?
I think early on we kind of did. It was pretty. I felt like it was pretty rough in that first half, but I think second half it kind of let up a little bit, and we got to go into our normal game plan, so it wasn't as big of a deal in the second half.
And you know, looking ahead for Hays State, you know, you don't look at records. You know, they're 2-6 or 6-2, but you know, like you said, every game, every team in this conference is a big game. So how do you kind of put that to the side, just kind of focus on the game on Saturday?
Yeah, you know, it's just another week to go 1-0, and we got to prepare for that, and you know that's what we're focusing on. You know, just taking it day by day and game by game.
Thanks, Braden.
Laney.
Hey, Braden, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So you guys, you know, you learn new things about your team every week, and last week you guys had to deal with the weather. Just what did you learn about your team and your ability to get through something as annoying as crazy wind?
You know, I think just all of us together, we really don't care, you know, about the weather or, you know, the conditions. You know, we're just out there, you know, still trying to play ball and execute. I think, you know, that's the biggest thing. We just all play for each other, and, you know, no matter what's going on out there, we're out there playing for each other.
And having one of the best streaks that this team has had in a while, just how much do you look forward to taking that back home after being on the road for a couple weeks?
Look forward to it. Just still trying to keep focusing, going 1-0, not really looking in the past or looking too much ahead. So, it's just each week go 1-0. That's the streak we're trying to keep.
And you guys all talk about, just looking ahead to the next game. The next game is the most important one. So how long after a win do you give yourself to appreciate it and relish in it before you move on to the next game?
Usually Sundays we have film, and usually after film it's, kind of game over. It's on to the next one.
All right, thank you.
Katie.
Hey, Braden, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. So, 6 wins so far for you guys. 4 of those you've scored 40 plus points on offense. How do you think the offense, both the ground game and the passing game, have really been clicking this season?
Yeah, I think it's honestly just been, kind of piggybacking off of each other. If, the run's there, that means that they're obviously worried about our pass, and then if our pass has been there, they're starting to worry about our run game. So, I think we're at a good point of just being a balanced offense and just executing out there and just really just, playing football, having fun.
Yeah, and you said at the beginning, Fort Hays is coming off a win, so they're probably feeling good. You guys are coming off 4 straight wins. So overall, how do you guys feel?
I think we feel good. We're excited. We're just excited to, play again. Not trying to let homecoming or any kind of thing distract us. It's just out there, go 1-0, go win the football game.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank
Okay,
you.
one question for you. Each of the last 2 weeks, the other teams had a long drive on offense, and you come right back in and scored in like a minute or less. Just kind of talk about that and what that can do for your team being able to score quickly.
I think it gives us a big momentum boost. I think, like defensively, if you had that drive and you might be tired and we just scored quick, but it also gives you that boost. Like, okay, well, that's not going to happen again. It's not going to happen all day, and I think it just gives the confidence to the team and to the guys around you, just knowing what we can do when we execute at a high level.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Braden. This is what, week 8, 9? Week 9.
Yep.
Week 9. Time flies when you're having fun. Are you having
Yep.
fun, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, we're setting it. I mean, having fun, but every week feels the same. It's just putting the game plan together and practice, and this profession is tough. So it's fun. Believe me, when you're winning. But once you get into game week, it's just the same type of work mentality, I guess you might say.
Is that the thing that maybe encourages you most or has you the most pleased that this team has had really the same type of work mentality, same type of work ethic, really the last couple seasons?
Yeah, that is right, and we have a good group. I feel like that. There are maybe some days I get after them a little bit, but I mean, I'm going to tell you, they practice the right way. We go against each other still. Not very much where it's offense versus defense, and that's always a good period for us. There's a lot of when you got a lot of veterans and guys that have invested a lot of their time, it should be important to them, and they should know that we got to have good practices to have an opportunity to win a football game on Saturday. And then of course, if you are on a winning games, then they're going to go out there with a little bit more pep in their step too as well.
Fort Hays State, the record may not be impressive, and I know you told your kids don't scoreboard watch, don't worry about those things. They're coming off a victory, but as you've looked at them on film, what challenges are they going to give your football team?
They're a good football team. I mean, there's no question in my mind. I think Coach Brown does a great job. I mean, he's got tough kids. Injuries have hurt him. I know specifically at the quarterback spot. Anytime you lose your starting quarterback, you're going to struggle. I think the kid they got there, they're playing 2 right now, but I think the kid that they've been starting is getting better. They have some weapons on offense. They got a very good receiver. They're big up front on the offensive line. Defensively, they're sound. They're well coached. We're going to have to be patient, and we're going to have to hang on to the football, and we're going to have to go out and execute because I know they'll come in here and play their best game of the year. So it's I do think our guys are ready, and they should be. We didn't play the best. We won last week, but it's kind of a gritty, kind of a ugly win. But you take those in the league, so it could be the same way on Saturday. I just know that we're going to be in for a dogfight.
Coach, talk about a veteran group. Obviously, a win's a win, but you put that behind you. Just how important is it to maybe have that veteran group to kind of put that behind them quickly and be focused as you go into the week of practice?
I think it's very important, and I think that that's where I hope. I can't get in the minds of these guys, thank goodness. All right, but that's where you hope, their actions speak that. I will say that. But again, I'm not around them 24/7. I don't know what they talk about or how they view things, and I will say that I believe and trust these guys enough to know that they listen and they understand that there is no more. You can't worry about records in this league. You can't worry about scores in this league. If you do that, you get beat. And we were a culprit of that, I believe, earlier in the year. There's no question. So it is nice to have those guys. And what you want is it to kind of bleed over to the younger guys.
And like you said, 4A's coming. You don't look at records.
No.
But them coming in at 2-6, you're near the top of the league. Do you think maybe you're the team that's being targeted now by some of these teams that you're going to be playing going forward?
There's no question. I mean, I talked a little bit about it last week that we go play Kearney, and of course you got Pitt, but we were kind of the hunter at that time. Right now we are on a win streak, and I feel like there's things in front of us. We just got to concentrate one week at a time. But the main thing is for us to ask me that question again, because I had a great answer for it.
It is, yeah. Like, I guess, do you feel like teams are going to give you their best shot? I guess.
Yeah. Yes. I got off in the weeds there for a second, thinking about some other things based off that question. But the one thing is that we start having a target on our back, and I know that can be. We've been on the other side of that, going and playing somebody. Like I said, Kearney, we felt like we had to win that football game. We were on the road and playing a ranked opponent. Our guys were definitely ready to play. So things can change now when, every game, just like last week, we go and play Missouri Southern on the road. We had a great win the week before and hit on all phases, I thought, played our best game of the year, special teams, offense, and defense. And then we go to Missouri Southern, and we were totally different. Now, I give a lot of credit to Missouri Southern and how they played. I thought they did a great job of executing their game plan, but again, everything was told to them then about not watching the scoreboards and just preparing yourself. And, so yeah, I think, like I said, I told the team this: we will give Fort Hays' best effort, and that's the truth.
And I guess one more after 2 straight road games. Is there anything about coming back home and being having travel?
Nice to be back home. Yeah. Just from a standpoint of your schedule. I think from a coaching standpoint, you don't have to. When you leave on a Friday, you got to have everything kind of done. You kind of got to get things done on Thursday evening, so you're ready to go Friday when you get on the bus and that sort of thing. I think, when you're at home, you get a little bit more time. I think that, our players, I know they're ready to be back home. They're ready to play in front of our crowd, which I would believe, with it being homecoming, all that we should have a great crowd come Saturday. So the only thing that is nice about going on the road, and I will say this, is you do take your team and you're away from everybody, and it's just your team, So again, we don't have that money in our budget to go stay at a hotel on Friday night for a game like some of the big guys do. So again, that goes back to having veterans and having the type of leadership you need. That guys are doing what they need to be doing on Friday night.
Thank you.
You bet.
Coach Higgins, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So this was a close matchup last year. Just how similar is Fort Hayes' team this year compared to last year's?
I think they're very similar. I think Hayes is kind of every year, they're going to be kind of like I described them earlier, where they're going to be very physical on defense. They're going to play hard. They're going to be sound. They're well coached. They're not going to they're not going to beat themselves or let something get behind them. And then offensively, they're always going to be able to be a threat throwing the football. And they have skilled weapons there, So it's the same type of team to me, except they don't have their true starter at quarterback, who is an all-conference player. That's a blow, all right? And not to take anything away from the guys that are playing quarterback for him right now, because I think number 5, I think that's his number. He's definitely getting better because he's getting a lot of experience right now, So that's the thing that is that worries you. So it's the same type of Fort Hayes team. Yeah, some of the players may be different, but just how they play the game is the same.
And do you expect this to be another close game?
I do. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think that they'll, like I said, I think Coach Brown will have those guys ready to play, and I'm sure they've had this circled on their calendar. We basically scored 14 points or whatever, 15 points in 5 minutes last year to win the game. I know I would remember the game, okay, if we were going to play somebody. So similar type deal. Plus, they won last week. I don't care what your record is. If you win, okay, the previous week, no matter what, you're always going to go into that week feeling good, regardless of your record, all right? And that's a step in the right direction there, just having guys, practice the right way. And, being on a winning streak and practicing is definitely different. All right, now this is no anything that is like, I figured something out here. But like if you're losing on a losing streak, practice is going to be different than if you're on a winning streak. So they won, all right? They won. So I just think it is going to be different. And I think we will get their best effort, and I think it will be a dogfight, and we're going to have to be ready to play.
And now, do you expect every game every week to be a close game?
I'm just thinking about Hayes right now, all right? So usually that's the MO here in this league, as you can tell. All the gray hair that I got right now, all right, is just being in this league for 15, 16 years, sorry, Don. Every Saturday, man, it is a grind. Just like Greg asked, is whatever, you having fun? Yeah, I'm having fun, but every week's the same. The work that you got to put in to prepare, all those things, it's tough, but it's awesome. I love it.
The past 3 weeks you've mentioned your gray hair in interviews, and so I think it's good luck for you guys.
You know what? Hey, it's I haven't actually. I've just let it grow too. Not like it's like big wavy long like Braden and all the quarterbacks, all the style, but I haven't even cut it yet either. So it's gray, and I'm just going to let it keep growing. And we better not lose. I want that thing to be long.
That's right. So Fort Hayes, what have you just noticed about their team through film that you guys are really looking out for?
Yeah, really just the characteristics of how they played, how well they're coached on defense. And again, I watch their offense. I don't watch it like I do their defense because I coach a position over on the offensive side of the ball. But I do know that they are sound in what they do. I think they of course they've had some injuries over there on the defensive side of the ball too. I can kind of tell that as you watch each week their games. And then offensively, I always feel like they have big play capabilities, and we've done a really good job with that this year. This is one of our point of emphasis, and we're going to have to do that again on Saturday because I think they're dangerous over there with the weapons they have.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
You bet.
Katie.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. So, in your time in this league, we're talking about your gray hair again, but you've been in this league a long time. Have you noticed that when a team comes in to play a team on their homecoming, is there an extra kind of fire under them to pull off an upset?
I don't think so. That is a good question because I'm like thinking to myself while you're asking that. I can go to games and have no clue whether it's their homecoming or not. I just think them coming off a win last week and them playing an in-state school and a team that beat them last year, regardless of whether it's homecoming or not. That's the thing that I feel like is going to motivate them.
Yeah, and as you've been saying for weeks, you have a lot of vets on this team. It's an old team that knows you by the book by now. But what's the message that you send to this team when they're on a 4-game win streak? You don't want them to get, kind of jumbled with the noise of that. You just want them to focus on what's ahead.
Yeah. Well, we've been using this quite often, just earmuffs and blinders. Okay, we're just going to keep our head down and just keep working. And that's all we need to do and trying to get better each and every day. That's good coach speak, I know. But it's something that is talked about a lot to our players. And I think that, having that win that we had last week, any win is a good win. Doesn't matter how you do it. We're not getting judged for how we go about winning. All right? Everybody's just going to see it's a W on the schedule. But I think it was a gritty enough win, ugly enough win where, we had to come back, that I think it taught us things too. Like even going into this week, just preparing and making sure that there's no stone unturned. And, we're going to go out today, and today is our jog through, and it needs to be attention to detail. They need to be quiet. They need to listen. And that's where I feel like our veteran leadership does a really good job of making sure that is maintained throughout practice.
You've definitely done a good job because I think all 3 of them said those exact words.
Did they? Well, that's good then. That's really good to know.
That's it for me. Thanks, Coach.
You bet.